ASC Fine Wines. Objectives were to raise awareness of wine styles and regions and the brands that ASC promote. They're a very big distributor of imported wines in China. The strategy was to develop a series of educational style films they hoped would be shared across the net. The format of the films was to host sommelier. They would have a panel, a male and female panel. They discuss regions and wine styles, and then they taste some of the brands that they would distribute. The result was they attracted up to 52,000 viewers for a single episode in that series. It was rated one of the top 10 original short series by CCTV online in 2012. They originally produced 2 by 12 series episodes, and the third series is being produced in 2013. The difference in that one was the tone is relaxed, fun and light-hearted. It really cut through the aggressive sales promotion that people were seeing, that people are used to seeing on Chinese television and advertising. Okay. In terms of specific recommendations, really the right digital marketing and social media strategy will be dependent on a number of things. Your business and sales objectives, what your distribution channels are, what your marketing objectives are. Are you after customer acquisition, awareness and branding? Some of the examples I've mentioned are more on awareness, branding and acquisition. The challenge for Villa Maria, for example, is how to retain them, how to engage them, how to convert them into frequent consumers and customers. Do you want to use it for market research or customer service? Who's your target audience? What province, geographic area, first, second, third tier cities? Technology, mobile or video? What budget you have, your key measure of success. Is it sales? Is it awareness? What's your return on investment time frame? And most importantly, what resources are available here in Australia and what resources do you have available on the ground in China? Okay. Overall, in terms of specifics, really design marketing activities and content to have an inherently social motivation to spur broader engagement. The key being typically to have an emotional element. Other things to be very, very mindful of, it's got to be easily viewed, it's got to be fun, it's got to be credible, can easily be shared in digestible form, should be visual, it should be actionable and interactive, it should be unique and timely and relevant. And as you've seen in some of the other examples that have been shown this morning, they meet that criteria. The types of content. Rewards or promotion, you've seen that in the Villa Maria, New Zealand example. Utility or education, adding value to the user. New Zealand, the wine Provence example, learning French, romantic stories, not just pushing stories about how the wine made is and the story of how the wine was developed. And the same thing with the ASC Fine Wines example. Gamification. I haven't showed this example, but Casiera del Diablo, they're utilising their Manchester United sponsorship. They've created an online game where people can play against each other all around the world, and then creating a game mechanism within that environment, which is a really neat way to capitalise on such a huge sponsorship of Manchester United, who have fans all over the world. Celebrity endorsement, the power of celebrity in China. Have any of you in the room seen the recent documentary called Red Obsession? Anybody seen it? Narrated by Russell Crowe. It's been on at the cinemas, may still be on. If you haven't seen it and you're interested in wine, I really recommend that you go and see it. It's well worth seeing. It's about the appeal of Bordeaux wines to the Chinese market, but there is one particular scene that they use in that to talk about the power of celebrity endorsement. They're using an old Hong Kong action movie, and sorry, I don't know the specific movie. A crime boss is talking to another gangster and offers originally a glass of Matus, and the other person replies, anything less than 82 Lafite is absolute garbage. So it gives you an idea of the power of in use in movies can have for particular brands. And that movie and that use has been very instrumental in the growth of Chateau Lafite over the years with that sort of endorsement. Yao Ming family wines. Do people know who Yao Ming is? The ex-NBA basketball player, who owns a restaurant in Shanghai. He also owns the Shanghai basketball team, I believe. Let me just show you. He launched his own brand in 2011, Yao Ming Family Wines. He added the sub-range Napa Crest in 2013. The range priced, the Napa Crest is priced at around 500 RMB per bottle, but the Family Reserve is an eye-popping over 5,000 RMB per bottle. That range is distributed via Pernod Ricard to its VIP customers. The brand has sold just under 10,000 9-litre equivalent cases in 2 years, and the Family Reserve sell out each year approximately 800 cases. Not strictly social media, but you can imagine the great content and awareness and cut through that someone like Yao can have on social media through his range of family wines. Let me just go back. Yeah. Okay. All right. Other opportunities. Exclusivity and equity sharing arrangements. Developing new specific brand or sub-range. I know Chinese, and again, this is one I've learnt the hard way, Chinese distributors are very worried about investing time and effort but losing the brand to other distributors. As you can imagine, on-premise sales is a very time-consuming effort to build up relationships and customers. So they're very, very motivated in working with brands that want to offer them some part ownership or equity in return. Also, clear and differentiated channel strategies by brand and being clear on online versus offline channels. I'll just show you a quick example of this one of equity sharing arrangements through the South African wine, Franschhoek, through their Leopard's Leap and Lamotte brands. In 2011, they developed a distribution agreement with Ossino as their exclusive South African wine brand. They started a joint venture with Yangzhou Perfect Wines South Africa. They developed a new brand together, Le Huguenot, apologies for the pronunciation. It was a sweeter flavour profile, and they tailored the varieties specifically to Chinese consumers. The result was they sold 400,000 bottles 10 days after launch, which was 30% of their annual target. They also started a direct sales channel called Prestige Wines, and that had links with Tsinghua University Beijing alumni. They're hosting 4 groups of alumni each year at the winery. Again, they had 150,000 sales per year post first visit. And you think of the rich value of that group of people in terms of engaging and interacting with them on social media to keep them engaged. Okay. Lastly, next I'd say utilise Wine Australia resources and Austrade. They do a fantastic job. They're focusing their efforts in the 11 focus cities in China where they're undertaking their Australian wine education and accreditation programs. I'd evaluate opportunities in second and third tier cities. As others have touched on this morning, online sales are capitalising on the relative lack of physical stores in second and third tier cities. Looking at Australia category activity versus brand activity, I'd really encourage some of the wine brands to work closely with tourism authorities to promote wineries and wine regions. It's a key part of destination tourism to Australia. And to use a specific example, New Zealand flew 4 Sina Weibo bloggers out during the harvest time, but what if you could get on the itinerary for Chinese tour groups to Australia to get them to come to your winery restaurant, you have so many different festivals and times throughout the year that you can hold a Chinese themed dinner. You can give them gifts, you can promote specific wines, you can food and wine match for Sichuan, Cantonese, any type of cuisine. The possibilities are endless. You've got a big group of people that can tell all their friends, can post straight to Sina Weibo or WeChat after the meal. So there's different strategies you can use. You tap into the tour groups, fly specific people out from China, bloggers to do that. I'd encourage you also to think outside the square. Kim Crawford Wines, they developed flavoured ice pops and popcorns. Why couldn't you develop wine-flavoured mooncakes? Think a little bit differently. Packaging innovation and exclusivity. Sorry, I'll be very quick. You know, not every brand can do this. Only when you ask a lot of Chinese consumers what Australian brand they know, and most of them say Penfolds. Penfolds is very famous. In 2012, they released 12 bottles only of a 2004 Cab Sav in a blown glass ampoule. They cost an eye-popping $168,000 each. And what was unique about that was wherever you were in the world, Penfolds would fly the winemaker to you specifically and open the bottle when you wanted to open it and give you the tutored tasting there. I'm not suggesting you all do this, but it just shows you, given that a lot of it is the gift market, you can develop something specific and eye-catching and unique and artistic that doesn't have to be a bog standard bottle. And okay, and lastly, just to leave you a bit of levity, this is from a wine blogger in Beijing. The source is Grape of Wall, China. Some wine labels. Has anybody in the room seen either of these? Foreign Girl or Old Man? Have any of you drunk either of those? No? Probably a good thing, but my favourite, Great Wall Email Dry Red Wine. So, and with that, if anybody has any questions, maybe just come and corner me during the break or during the day. But thank you very much, everybody.